trade is an A period. I'm basically playing the sweep of that MPOC and the overnight profile just to the left. It's also, if you look at the volume profile that's right next to the TPO there, just to the right of it, that it's the edge of the cash session. It was the edge of the value area for the overnight session there, how it starts to turn green, and we did, if you've seen the action, like we swept that and they brought it right back. So, I went ahead and entered there, and I'm trying to get back to at least, what I'd really like to get back to is yesterday's high, which is where we, started out up there. And, I'm looking right here that we need, I'm watching each one of these levels and making sure that we can get through each level and seeing how it responds as it goes through there. So that red dash line is a settlement from yesterday. So they kind of tested it there, and I was actually in that and had to cut that trade. And then they kept moving lower. So when they swept this, I entered again, and then I was watching to make sure that they got back through that settlement. Now they're trying to get through the POC and that VWAP, that's the RTH VWAP there. They're trying to get through that section. And yes, they're responding to it, but you can see it's not dumping from there. So see how they keep coming back to it. They keep pushing up against it. So I'm pretty confident that they're going to, push a little bit higher, at least up into this upper node, which is basically my first target. So that green line, the thick green line there, is yesterday's value area high. So I had that plotted on my chart. And then if we really got going, I would try to get back to that POC, the volume profile POC that's at the top from the overnight profile. It's up there by the 950 level. But the other thing on this trade is that one thing is it's A period. So, trades like this where I'm kind of picking it, the sweep just kind of out of nowhere and don't have a lot of reference a lot of structure that I'm leaning against, I'll take lower contract size. But then also the news is coming up. The U of M sentiment is coming out in 7 minutes. So I know that I want to be out of this trade by then. So like I said, my first target that I wanted to get to is right there. That's the overnight high, the high from yesterday. And, if it really pushes through there, if we get acceptance into this upper node, then I'll be looking for that POC, basically where the order's at right now. That would be my ultimate goal. That thick red line up at the top, that's an old value area low. That would be it's a weekly value area low. That would be on the 4H chart. If you look at that 5 minute, how I'm pointing out how we came back down and they kind of kicked off, that's the RTH VWAP. So you can see how they kicked off that level. So, that's a sign to me that we're moving higher, or that they have intent to move it higher at least. So like I said, they keep moving up into this VWAP area, but you can see how they keep, every time they kind of sell it off, it gets bought back up and pushes back up against it. So it looks good to me, and I'd already moved my stop up. So as we started sliding up here, I get a little bit more aggressive in moving my stop up because we are getting lower in time. If you watch that 5 minute, as we're pushing up, I'm going to slide that stop right up with it. And like here, if it would have pushed right through, fine, and took me out there, that's fine. And then on this trade, I had already played from basically that. If you look at the 5 minute chart, I missed the sweep on this one, but when it came back, you can see how they were playing off that settlement chart. So I played from there back to the green line, and then I ended up buying the VWAP area on that 5 minute, and I played that up to this 950 level. And now you can see where I'm playing this. And again, because we're kind of like the opposite of being short in the hole, we're kind of extended here. And I thought there was a chance this was going to fail and just start, falling back into value. So I went in only with one contract, and I'm trying, I figure if they're going to push higher, the way that you can see how they're building step by step. I figured if they were going to push higher, we're aiming for that area right there where my target's at, which is that previous weekly value area low. So there wasn't very much risk. It's basically what they were doing all the way up. If you look at that 5 minute chart, I got a couple of those moves. And one thing I need to get better at is, I could have just basically bought the sweep of that 930 level, or, even the one that I did take at the settlement there. and then just let the trade, basically take the whole move in one. Because right now I take them in sections, especially being, um, because it's summer and, I'm used to this time of year, I'm used to getting, uh, where they'll come back on me. And even right here, there's no reason I didn't take this. I should have just closed it right there, but I kind of got caught off guard that it didn't finish that last tick to take me out. So there's really no reason. That was an error on my part. I should have closed that trade definitely. But I feel pretty confident that we're at this point we are going to push that level. So I go ahead and let it finish out. But so like I was saying, what I need to do is get better at, because I could have been in that trade and then just monitored for continuation, as it bounced off that. If I would have bought at the settlement like I did, and then it moved up and then it come back and it bounced, you can see them buy it right at that VWAP area on the 5-minute chart, and then, but had stayed in that the entire time where I'm taking it in sections. Even if I would have bought that sweep, which I missed that sweep of the 930 on the 5-minute there, um, I would have gotten out in the VWAP area, and then I would have seen it hit. I would have seen them buying it at the settlement. I would have bought it there, and I'd take that move up. I took that basically to that thick green line, which is yesterday's value high, and I got out there. And then when it come back and I seen them buying it at that VWAP area, I'd buy it there. So I want to get better at taking that all in one move, because at this point, I can pretty much visualize that move. I just have I need to get better at actually doing it while it's happening. So again, this pulls back and I'm pretty confident right in here is where they should start buying it again. But yeah, I should have, there's no reason why I didn't close that. Just, I was distracted, at this point, I can't remember what was going on, but I was looking at something different, or I just had that feeling like, okay, we're right there, just one more tick. And then it pulled off on me. And I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. So you can see I had moved that target down, because at first I was waiting for them to pop it, kind of push through it. So I had already moved that target down a little bit. And it just seems like it doesn't matter if I pull it in 2 ticks or if I pull it in 5 ticks. I seem to be really good at picking the point where one more tick it would have taken me out. But that's just how it goes. And especially, with one contract, I really hate trading one contract, because you either got to hold, you got to make that decision of whether to take it or hold it. And I always end up giving back some points here. But this does push up right in here, and it finishes this out. And then same thing, as we break over this level and they gain strength again, I'd pick this back up.